Welcome back. Time for the Word on Wall Street. Top investors watching your money. Joining me right now, Michael Lee strategy founder, Michael Lee, and Laffer Tengler Investments president, Arthur Laffer Jr. Great to see you, gentlemen, this morning. Thank you so much for being here. Mike, let me kick things off with you. Bob Iger back as Disney CEO, less than 3 years after handing over the reins to Bob Chapek. The change coming after Disney's lower than expected third quarter results. The stock is up this morning, but it has been down in the last year. It is down 40% year to date. Is this a reason for you to buy this stock, Mike?
You know, I don't know. There are so many problems with Disney, and some of them are actually Bob Iger's fault. This is becoming an increasingly tough industry. These streaming wars are really for real. There is an arms race for content in that you have Disney, Netflix, Amazon all competing along with Peacock and Paramount and you name it. There's a million different streaming services and they're all overpaying for content. That specific excess cost is what really hammered Disney stock off the last earnings. But look, problems with Disney have been coming for a while. They overpaid for a ton of content with ESPN going back 7 or 8 years ago, and then that network decided to go woke. And in a lot of cases, conservatives will say go woke, go broke. That's not really true in a lot of cases. However, for Disney, it absolutely is. They have run ESPN into the ground. But, you know, Disney's got some interesting things going on. They were an early investor in Hulu, which has turned out to be a pretty spectacular streaming service. That kind of Disney bundle that they have with Disney Plus, ESPN, and Hulu is a strong competitor. The parks have reopened. Those parks are extraordinarily resilient, and especially as the consumer economy moves back to services. But look, management needed a change there. You needed to do something because I think the stock is down approximately 20% from its pre-COVID levels, while the S&P 500 is up 34%. That's a 50% delta for what was one of the best-run historically one of the best-run companies in the world. It has become an abject disaster, and I think Bob Iger's here because things like ESPN might be spun out. They might want to monetize or figure out a different way, something to do with Hulu. But now things that were previously thought unthinkable for Disney are now going to be on the table. And so it's a really kind of a mess in a very competitive industry. And also, Disney has some special legislative patent extension for Mickey Mouse, which no one in the Republican Party is interested in continuing to extend. So maybe they're thinking Bob Iger can come back with his political connections. A lot of headwinds for the stock. But look, if they break this company up into 3 or 4 different strategic pieces, this could end up being the buy, one of these great buys. But I'm not quite convinced, but I'm nowhere near as negative as I was in the stock just 24 hours ago.
Well, look, MoffettNathanson this morning is upgrading the stock. Don't forget, they've got activist investors now. You know, Dan Loeb was the one from Third Point who said spin out ESPN before he retracted that. And then there's Trian, led by Nelson Peltz. He's not happy about Bob Iger coming back. He said he did not want Bob Iger to come back. But both of these activist investors are trying to pressure the company to cut costs and get the stock up after selling off 40% this year. So we're going to be watching that one. We're also watching housing on December 16th. Any thoughts ahead of the Georgia runoff on December the end of in December 6th that we're looking at that would be a catalyst for this market, Mike?
Yeah, look, I'm not sure that runoff is going to make a big difference. Even if Herschel Walker wins, you're still at a 50-50 with Kamala Harris as the tiebreak, and now the Republicans have control of the House. I'm not sure it's going to be a big catalyst. I'm anxious to watch this because, you know, lifelong Herschel Walker fan would love to see him in the Senate, but I don't think that's going to make much of a difference for the market.
All right, we will leave it there. Great to see you both, Michael Lee, Arthur Laffer Jr. Please come back soon. Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
You too. Thank you.
All right, coming up.